Hello. So I'm trying to make a video and the stupid freaking dog next door won't stop barking. It's driving me crazy. But, alright. Anyways, so this is about Mardi Gras 2023. Okay? In February of 2023, I received a letter from my brother. It said that he believed that I needed to see a doctor. He said it's not my fault that mental illness runs in our family. No one wants to accept that they have a mental disorder. I have been fighting the idea for a long time. I finally said to myself, mental disorders don't run in my family. Mental abuse and dysfunction that creates mental disorders do. I realized that between being abused by the love of my life, being alienated from my children, not having closure to my mother's death, being devastated by Hurricane Michael, no food, no job, no water, no power, my family all thinking I'm crazy, and being surrounded by people with no morals or standards had chased me up the staircase to the very top of the pyramid of my brain. This is a place that spirituality, religion, and symbolism exists. It's your imagination, basically. My mind was trying so hard not to let go and become suicidal. I was stuck in my spiritual side. Not stuck in it, I was there. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I tried to go to Boston, not just to release my mother's ashes, but also I needed to see my family so badly. I needed to eat, rest, and feel loved. I didn't have the money, and my family said it was not a good time. When my mother's ashes were in a wooden box on top of my dresser at night, When my mother's ashes were in a wooden box on top of my dresser, at night there started to be this dark, tall shadow in the corner of my closet. Anytime I felt eerie in my house, I would say, I'm of God, and the feeling would go away. This shadow, however, seemed to stay in the corner. I felt like it was because my mother's ashes were still contained in that box. She hadn't been put to rest, so everything that caused her pain still remained in the house. I was leaving the door open for evil and poltergeists. When I would come home at night, my front door was pitch black. Inside, it felt scary. One evening, I just grabbed the box of ashes and went into the living room and threw the ashes into the air. The ashes landed on the floor where my mother had died. Some landed on me. I ran outside and dunked myself in a container of water. I wonder if that's some form of like christening or something. I don't know. The following day, I went to the Goodwill store nearby. Goodwill began in Boston, and it's created for like a system for people with disabilities that they can have opportunities in America to get a job and live and certainly shop in their store, right? Anyways, so Goodwill began in Boston, where my mother's from. Okay, the manager who was in store at the time was named Kathy, only it's spelled with a K, and my mother's name's Kathy with a C. Kathy reminded me of my mother. Well, not really. Just the blue shirt that she had on reminded me of my mother's eyes. But other than that, I don't know. But still, like, I was suffering, like, tragedies and stuff like that, like, all by myself. And so, something about this day, like, particularly, made me feel like, oh, maybe my mother's, because I just let her ashes go, so I feel my mother now. That makes sense, right? Somehow, I made Kathy nervous. I don't know how. I'm, like, talking to all the, like, volunteer people that I know are, like, from religious things and stuff. They're, like, older people, and they're sitting on the couch talking to me and this and that, and they look like nuns and stuff, but they don't have the nun outfit on, but you can definitely tell they have that thing to them, that goodness to them, right? So somehow I made Kathy nervous. She called the police to have me trespassed. The police arrested me, and I spent one night in jail. My first time ever getting into any trouble whatsoever. After leaving the jail, Springfield Police Department Baker me, or actually I guess it was the Big County Sheriff's Office, but I don't know, it was all confusing. But when I left life management after 72 hours, I walked past a Goodwill donation box. I took all my jewelry off and put it in the box. I wanted nothing that symbolized my parents' marriage, my family's loyalty, or anything that truly did not exist at that point. When I got home, a friend of mine had swept up my mother's ashes, put them in a Ziploc bag, and back into the wooden box. He handed me the box. The ashes had gotten wet, and the bag had hundreds of bugs in it. It was really gross. I put the box into the hole in a trunk of a tree out front, that's like in the ground, okay, so it could like dry out. That evening, I walked to a bar close by, the one that's across the street from the paper mill. I walked in and went to the bathroom, and then I asked the guy for a cigarette. The barmaid came over to me and said I couldn't be there. Like, why? I'm like 42 years old. You didn't even check my ID, and then like all I do is go to the bathroom, like politely ask this guy for a cigarette. So I have no idea why she didn't want me there, but whatever. She then wrestled me to the ground. I thought it was fun. I had been bored at my house for the longest. This was the most excitement I have had in a long time. When she gets me down, though, I had somehow, like, I was having fun. Like, I didn't know that I did this, but apparently I had her chain, like, almost choking her out. Like, she couldn't move. Okay, so she asked me to let go. So I did. Then she dragged me out of the bar. I was laughing. I felt like a mischievous little leprechaun. The adults watching, well, the older men, they were all, like, military, because this is the AMVETS place. They're like, it's a setup! All at the same time, you know what I mean? So, after that, I walked over to a trailer. Okay, I went over, like, to the Martin house. You can watch me do this if you want to. I went over to the Martin house, and, I don't know, like, there's, like, 2 other properties behind there. I knew that because I've been there before. And, I, you know, one of them was for sale before, I think, so I was, like, looking around. Anyway, so go to this trailer that's behind the Martin house, and, you know, I shouldn't have done this, but, like, I went in their shed, I looked around, and it was, like, you know, it was stuff. And then, I don't know, but the corner of the shed was, like, moving weird because it wasn't really windy outside. And it was, like, this corner, it's, like, I'm like, that's odd. But it could have just been, like, that, I don't know, maybe I'm, like, starving to death and it just looks weird, whatever the hell. I don't know. Things happen. A lot of weird things happen in life, and some of them are, like, there because somebody put there, and sometimes it's your mind, and whatever. Things are weird all the time, right? So, where was that? Okay, so... yeah, after that, so I go in the shed, I look around. I didn't, you know, I don't take stuff, I don't steal stuff. I'm not there to damage people's property, nothing like that. I'm not that type of person. I guess I was just bored and whatever. So, so then I walked home, right? I laid down in my bed. In my mind, in my imagination, you know, as I'm laying there, I'm like, I'm gonna fall asleep. You know, sometimes a song will just pop in your mind and you can't get it out of your mind. It's like one lyric for like 6 weeks and it's driving me crazy and shit, you know what I mean? But this time, like, this was the day after I had, or, you know, this is, what, maybe 4 or 5 days after my mom's ashes and all that. So, anyways, like I was saying, so I'm laying down in bed, and I hear, this music, like, in the background, like, off in the distance a little bit, and it's like, I think it was, well, it's, oh, when the saints come marching in, oh, when the saints come marching in, how I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints come marching in. Like that, okay? But it had a lot of, like, the flutes and the horns and the trumpets and all that shit. I was, like, backing up, and I could hear it, like, in the distance, and it's coming closer and closer and closer. I was like, no. Please. I'm too stressed out. I can't, like, my heart is too broken. I can't separate my girl right now. I can't. Please. Right. So then, yeah. So that happened. And, but I didn't think, I knew it was like, I don't care what the hell people, you know, I would hope that you, like, consider your own mind to be, like, important. So, you know, like, yeah, I heard the Mardi Gras music coming to me, and I knew that, like, what it's saying to me from whatever source of information was that because I finally let my mother go, and although I've never been, like, I never even had the opportunity to become Catholic, because I'm, like, military brat and different areas and stuff like that. But, you know, like, I'm a free spirit, so I say, like, if I'm, like, yeah, I'm Catholic, like, mentally, you know, in some ways. But I'm gonna also say I'm Jewish, and just that, well, it's just because I believe all of it's possible. It's not that I'm, like, I understand that, like, if you believe one thing, you believe one, well, that's where I conflict with that person. Well, maybe everybody else in the entire world feels like they can only be one way, but, and you're entitled to do that, but I'm open to all of it. Okay, so anyways, so yeah, I knew that was saying, because I would let my ashes go, God was like, here, child, here you go. Thank you so much for letting your mom go, because, you know, she's got to be in the universe so we can, you know, she's between you and me, like God and Mary and the child, like, yay, fortunately. So they're like, okay, we're gonna have to do what we gotta do. You know what I'm saying? The humanity will not help you, so we're just gonna have to just play along for it. Let's do it. So, you know, ultimately, I'm always in that frame of mind that, you know, of course, you have to take the actions to get things to happen. That if, like, you're on planet Earth, you want it to happen, but, like, your intuition, your gut, and, like, your drive and stuff that's making you want to go there, that's, you know, to me, it's from God, okay? Anyway, so, what else? Alright, so yeah, I laid down in bed and I heard the Mardi Gras music, all that. And then, the strange part about that is that, the strange part about hearing the song and all that is that it was the day that Mardi Gras was actually celebrated when I heard this, okay? Alright. That was weird. I guess that here come the saints. They're coming to save me. I mean, I should just read this the regular fucking way, right? Alright. Fuck. Alright. Ash Wednesday arrived. The Springfield police came to my house and told me I had a warrant for a burglary. Apparently, the person who owned the trailer with the little shed that I went into had surveillance cameras. I was arrested and taken to jail. I remember when the police officers were booking me in, one officer was writing down my information. She asked the other officer my weight. 102 pounds, the officer told the other. The one writing my info down said, "How tall are you?" I said, 5 feet 4 inches. The officer said, "You're supposed to weigh 130 pounds. You're starving." Then she looked at my finger and asked me what happened to it. I said, "I got bit by a Great Dane." She said, "Oh my God." But she then cleaned the bite and put liquid bandage on it. I was placed in the mental dorm. My paperwork said she still refuses to admit that she is homicidal. The head of the entire medical unit, Dr. Bougie, which for some reason I cannot find his name anywhere. Like, you guys don't mention anything about your medical staff on Bay County Jail's website. And I don't think, like, you know, this is like public information that should ultimately be required to be presented to the public if you're taking citizens of the United States, civilians, and you're these people are diagnosed with stuff. Like, I have a right to know what that doctor's name is in case I feel like he, you know, gave me something I was allergic to or whatever, which is not the case here. I think, well, he said here, let me read. He said, so he came, okay, the head of entire medical unit, Dr. Bougie, came to talk to me one evening when I'm in the J dorm, which is the mental dorm. He said that he and a group of his colleagues wanted to study me. I said, "I only feel hostile when I'm waiting for the food." He said, "You don't seem hostile." I said, "Well, I am." Then I said, "My IQ has never been tested, but I honestly believe it is higher than most. I either don't understand other people or they don't understand me." When I talked to my aunt over the phone, she said, "I was wondering when you were going to hit rock bottom." I kept my thoughts to myself. I thought I was arrested on Ash Wednesday. I arrived looking like a starving Holocaust victim. No human being alive would defend me, listen to me, or understand me. I have been beaten down by everyone and everything. I have been mentally and spiritually, well, they crucified me, you know? Like, you know, but I mean, my frame of mind then was that they crucified me, okay? But I know, ultimately, like, that was the only way God could save me, you know what I mean? So, God figured, well, if no one alive... Oh, I remember, too, when they were in the intake thing, cell or wherever, and you sit there for, like, 45 minutes, waiting, and you can place a phone call or whatever. Like, I was, like, in the corner, like, balled up, crying and stuff, and, like, I heard my... Like, in my subconscious, I heard my Aunt Tricia say, "She called the Pope," and then I heard the Pope say, "Bless this child," okay? That part. And then, so, okay. I kept my thoughts to myself. Yeah, that part. Okay. God feared, well, if no one alive will help this poor girl, I'm sending the Saints in to save her. Jail was not my rock bottom. It was the only option for me to be fed 3 meals a day. I gained 30 pounds in 1 month. It was the only way that I could rest and get much needed sleep. The stress of my life had me in survival mode for too long. I was having insomnia and whatever, all that type of shit. The first thought that came to the surface after 20 years was when my brother had his schizophrenic outbreak. Like, when did he just, like snap? You know what I mean? I told the psychiatrist at the jail about what I finally realized had happened to my brother. On 9/11/2001, my brother was alone in South Boston. The planes flew out of Logan International, the airport in Boston, South Boston, Boston. My brother had always been a history fan He read a lot about Hitler and Stalin, and not that he liked them, but he just was very intrigued by like how they were able to do this stuff, you know. That morning, when he got up, he's home alone in Boston. He called the Twin Towers, or 911 probably, to warn them about the terrorist attack. He is that smart that he had guessed the exact time and date. Like, he wasn't researching it and, like, like, some obsessing over it. It just, like, popped in his head. He's like, I gotta call them. I mean, he actually picked up the phone and did it. So he definitely was like, sure, that something was gonna happen. And it did, you know what I mean? And then occurred. That's, think about it, you know? So, okay, so he is that smart that he guessed the exact time and date. On the TV, he watched the planes crash into the Twin Towers like all of us did, whoever was alive at the time. Only he was on the phone trying to save them. Can you imagine that? Like, you know how, like, sometimes something will happen to somebody and you're like, oh, I wish I would have just, like, picked him up, or I wish I would have, not left that night and stuff like that. Like, you have a regret like that, or whatever the hell, like, I should have done this, I should have done that. Like, when somebody dies of, like, alcoholism or some shit, and you think, there's so many things I could have done, or whatever, you know what I mean? But, like, being on the phone, like being that right, and on the phone, and watching that, oh, God, man, can you imagine? Oh, my God, like, I cannot possibly, like, when I try to think of it, it just makes me, like, I speak different, like, dialects and shit, like, wow, God, that's a lot for the brain to take in, out, and, woo, man, like, shock, you're definitely shock, for sure, right? And to add to that, like, us being military kids, and we, our dad's Social Security number is part of the military thing, and so was ours, and people, like, terrorists do hack in American systems, and, like, observe certain people, and they will, like, target them, and then, like, kidnap them and kill them and stuff, like, when they were just, like, really innocent, like, very shy people that are just smart, and, stuff like that. So, okay, see, 20 years ago, when he came to my house, my brother, from Boston, all of a sudden he became paranoid that people were after him. I asked him, why did he think people were after him? He said, because he tried to warn them about 9/11. All these years later, I finally realized he meant that he called at that exact moment. So this is last year, 2023, on Ash Wednesday. Well, it's the next day, first appearance, whenever they're, whatever. And so they're like, watch what you say, whatever. And I'm like, I got trespassing, like, whatever. So, I don't know, I just decided to say it then, like, when I knew I was being recorded by the county law system, or what the hell. Anyways, as I laid there on my mat, on the floor, in the mental dorm, I thought about a lot of things. I pictured all my family members that have died. I pictured my mother sitting in the middle. Her mother, Eleanor, well, my mother's Kathy. So she was sitting in the chair in the middle, right? Then, her mother, Eleanor, and the other parts of the family, which is Phyllis, Barbara, Johnny, Tommy, and Frankie. And then, of course, my mother's father. His name's, what is his name? Is it Patrick Francis? I know it's Francis somewhere in there. Pope Francis? Yeah. My dad's name's Francis, and my mother's dad was also Francis somewhere. I don't know. I'll probably edit that shit up. Anyways, so okay, so yeah, my dad's side of the family are on the left side of my mother. So my mom's in the middle, and this side. Well, if you're looking at if I'm looking at them, right? Because I see them. My mother's in the middle. On the right side is her mother, and then her father. And then, Barbara, Phyllis, Tommy, Johnny, Frankie, right? Then there's my mother, and then there's, on next to her on the left side, if you're looking at him, is my dad's mom, Teresa. So she's standing up. She's standing. She's got her arms crossed, and she is furious. Super, like, extremely mad, right? So, right. I picture my Nana, Teresa, saying, all of you Kellys are together doing great and posting photos of food. You're ordering dog food made of chicken while my granddaughter is down in Florida starving to death. No one could send Courtney a doggy bag. Then I pictured my Nana Tracy saying, you don't think Kelly deserves, or I'm sorry, you don't think Kathy deserves a funeral? My Irish Catholic family? How could you? Shame on all of you. I don't know what Nana would say. Nana would know that. She's probably like, execute all of you. Anyways, then I picture my Uncle Jack, who like, and him weren't ever really close because like, I don't know, I mean, God, I loved him. Like, he always come and pick me up and took me to their house, and they always loved me and take care of me, all that stuff. But we just never really talked a whole lot. Like, I don't know, he was mean to me and shit. Not really. He just, I don't know, he's probably just like me, and it's probably why we didn't really like each other. Okay, so, which I really think that's true. Okay, so, anyways, so then I picture my Uncle Jack saying, none of you defend Courtney? This man is ripping her to shreds, and you're all joining in? Jack Kelly is fucking pissed the fuck off. Promise you. And Nana. Papa's probably still watching Price is Right and shit like that, but whatever. Anyways, so, okay, so, let me ask you something. Look, I took a picture. This is a picture of, it says, John Joseph Kelly, PFC, which, private, something, I don't know, U.S. Marine Corps, Vietnam, July 23rd, 1948 to February 28th, 1995. I took a picture of this grave like I do anytime, you know, my other Nana and my Papa died. Well, actually, you know what? I don't have one of my Nana and Papa. So, Kelly's, when's the last time that you went and saw these graves? My Uncle Jack and my Nana and my Papa. When's the last time you went to see the graves? Have you forgotten them? Have you forgotten them? Like, you remember our Christmases and all that stuff? Like, I know my Uncle Jack was like, I mean, if he was alive right now, I guarantee you this shit would not be happening in my fucking life. And if my Nana was here either. Like, them are only two that seem to fucking care. Or like, they're not with that shit. They fucking protect their family, right? Anyways, whatever. So, okay, so, yeah. Then, so I realized how much it hurt me when I saw pictures on Facebook of my cousin's food truck menu. I knew if I were there, I could eat all that delicious food for free. My family wouldn't let me come. Well, my cousin Michael did actually send me a message and said, do you need your family? Like, we love you. Like, we still love you. Whatever, come here. And I appreciate it. It was a few years ago, but I can't just, like, run away from my problem. I mean, I have kids here and stuff. But I cannot leave my children. I can't. Anyway, so, I knew if I were there, I could eat all that delicious food for free. My family wouldn't let me come. My father told me he orders special dog food made of chicken. And he's like laughing about it, shit, cooking it while I was on the phone. He must not have realized that I had gone days without eating. I finally came to terms that I had been deeply hurt by everyone I knew and loved. Most of all, Steve. I had devoted my life to that man. I was the reason he had anything at all. I was the one who built him up. Now I am so broken and desperate that jail was the only way to save me. Yeah. While I was still in jail, I read people's cards in exchange for coffee, chips, and noodles. I was very good, too. Actually, I am. Like, and I don't read tarot cards. No, I don't read tarot cards. I'm an American. I read, like, a deck of cards. Like, actually, I still have the pack that I was reading cards with in jail when I was in there last year. Okay, I'm very good at it. Like, because it's not... Like, I'm not, psychic. I am, I'm a premonitionist, I guess. Yeah, I'm a premonitionist. There. Yep. So, I would officially like to announce my, business, which is a sole proprietorship, like, only mine. Yeah. And there's no things on it. It's just here. Okay. So, if you need me to read your cards for you, and, also mean, like, this premonition, like, premonition means my brain subconsciously picks up clues in every single moment of every single second of every day that exists, and it's capable of making a psychological assessment, and provides you with like an opening to like like if you feel like you're stuck in a cave and you like can't find where the hell the light's at. Like, I can't tell you exactly what to do. I can't tell you, like, I don't tell you if people are gonna die and shit like that, because no, why would I? No, my brain doesn't go that way. It doesn't. It's like motivation. It's like, come to the light, Caroline. That part. Like, we don't really know. Like, she didn't really seem freaked out when she came back through the light, did she? I don't think she did at all. Actually, she's like, wow, So that part, like, I mean, I'm not gonna fucking do voodoo and shit. It's just regular Irish, 95% Irish and 5% Spain. So that means I'm Black Irish. And yeah, that part. Anyway, so what else? Okay, so my burglary charge was dropped to trespassing. I was released from jail after 30 days. It was 2 days before Easter. It was quite coincidental that I heard the Mardi Gras music on Mardi Gras. I was arrested on Ash Wednesday, looking like a Holocaust victim. I felt mentally crucified. I laid under a rock, so to speak, like in a J dorm in the jail, like you're just laying there for like nothing, doing nothing, like under a rock. Okay, and then my release, I felt, must be my resurrection. Well, something like that. Like, not really resurrection, but like, like I just got back from not necessarily Vietnam, but like maybe the Panama Canal or some shit. Okay, so I went home. That's when I learned about all the people who had been in my house while I was in jail. The same people I invited for Christmas. They had sex in my bed, stole all my belongings, and disrespected my house. I filed a police report about it about a month later, okay? The officer asked me why I waited so long to file a police report. And this was talking to Springfield Police Department, okay? And so while I'm filing this report, I said, my son will speak for me and say, like, when he was worried about me, his mother, he came here immediately crying, right? And deeply concerned with his mom. And it broke his heart, So he comes here to my house where he is supposed to have a room here. So, yeah, this is what happened. Adriana and Mark, they're apparently, like, and Mark was, like, my boyfriend before I went in jail, but I think we broke up or whatever. So they're, like, having sex in my bed. Yeah, while I'm in jail. And, Troy Chavez is in here in my room with needles and shit, Well, no, this is Ethan's room, actually, with needles, okay? So my son comes running, and Adriana wants to say, oh, we're just trying to help your mother. And then Troy won't let my son come into his own fucking room because he's got a bunch of needles in there and shit, okay? So, anyway, so I tell this to the Springfield Police Department, and anyways, they didn't do shit except this. They said, the officer asked me why I waited so long to file a police report. I said, I got little baby kittens that are crying. Sorry. Okay, so why'd I wait so long to file a police report? I said, well, when you're surrounded by people with no morals or standards, you begin to question your own integrity. And that was it. They didn't investigate it or anything. And, like, even it wasn't, like, about all the shit that was stolen, because I can't really pin that on any particular person. But it was pretty, like, it's like, when I get out, there's, like, this girl's wearing, like, my son's, like, clip-on tie. This other chick's got this dude's got my Celtic socks on, trying to act like it's not mine. Like, hello, yeah, they're my fucking socks. And then, the dude Mark's wearing, like, one of my son's freaking Puma shirts. Like, what a fucking loser. Whatever. Whatever. Anyways, so I took the wooden box that contained my mother's ashes that were, in the tree stump, trying to dry out of her, out of the tree stump. Do you know what happens to human ashes when water is added to them? Have you ever seen that? It forms some sort of cardboard-like existence, like, not even really, it kind of looks like, in Alice in Wonderland, where you can take the thing, you can take a bite to make it bigger or smaller? It kind of looks like that shit, for real. Like, it's not really a mushroom, but it's like, it's weird. So, I guess that would be considered reincarnation for you, right? It's growing, I don't know what the hell it's growing into, but it's growing into something. I opened the Ziploc bag that still had my mother's ashes in there, and, this time I poured the ashes into the hole in the tree stump of, like, if you ever come by my house, it's 219 Central Avenue, Springfield, Florida, Bay Harbor, whatever. And if you're on the street and you're looking at the house, like the in front, there's like 2 tree stumps, or there's bushes, but there's actually tree stumps right there. On the right-hand side, where it looks like the bushes are like thickening off, my mother's ashes are in fact, are in that stump. And then there's the statue of Mary. And there's like some rocks around it. It looks like I buried a pet there or whatever. Like, I'm gonna make it better, but there's like, you can see on the surface these little like thing, and those are part of my mother's ashes, okay? And they're on my property that I own 100% outright, like no owed money. And I've paid my taxes like this recent one, so I wouldn't lose it. Like, I thought homestead exemption covers all of your taxes, because that's what happened when I had my other house. But apparently not this time, so thank God I paid it. Anyways, so thank you, brother, for doing that for me. Okay, so anyways, so I poured the ashes into the hole in the tree stump. Then I put some cherries on top. My mother's favorite ice cream was Ben and Jerry's. Or Ben and Jerry's, well, yeah, Ben and Jerry's Cherry Garcia, is what I meant to say. Finally, my mother was free. She became the Wicked Witch of the South. I was resurrected the Queen of America, because no one around me possesses the integrity that I do. Yeah. So that part. Like, I don't want to run the government on this stuff, but I just want to, well, I'm going to show you, or tell you, or state to whoever wants to listen, how to fix problems, like my suggestions to you. And so, like, if they make sense and they do, would ultimately, like, fix a lot of things. So, like each brick, or like Mario and Luigi trying to make it to the castle, they gotta save Princess. Yeah, anyways, you get what I'm saying. So, yeah, like, since there's not a Queen of America, and like, I'm down here in the South, and I'm like, oh, the Wicked Witch of the South, you know, the Wicked Witch of the South is actually my mother and me. Okay, yes, my mother and me. So once I set her out here to the world, on my property, where it's part of the environment, part of Mother Nature, it's in there. Which, yeah, you can't, like, I don't know if they could put people's remains, like, shoot them out into outer space or whatever. That's what we should do with Elon Musk. Like, dude, we'll send you out there when you're fucking dead, dude, but we're gonna feed people this fucking money, you fucking asshole. You know what I'm saying? Come on, seriously. How much? Isn't it like $1 billion? I'm like, can you send me like a fucking brand? Like, at least, like, fucking, come on, dude. Shit. It's horrible. I mean, it's so insulting and inhumane and unpatriotic and everything else to be like, oh, I'm so rich, so I'm gonna make sure I get out here and this and that. Like, who approves and regulates that bullshit? Seriously. Like, go push my fucking cliff and take his money. You know what I mean? Come on, now. Seriously. Nobody will say shit about it, I promise you. Like, well, he made it to outer space, or whatever. He said bottom of the ocean, outer space. Yep, whatever. Right? Think about it. I mean, I don't want to be dead. I'd hope that he'd be like, oh yeah, maybe I did take Legos a little too far, and yeah, it'd be cool to, like, take all this money and, like, shit, let's go see Courtney in, Bay Harbor, Florida. Springfield, Bay County, Florida. Why? Because she's fucking awesome. That's why. So anyway, yeah, I just want to be the Queen of America. And, so, my first name is Courtney, and the meaning of Courtney is, of the courts, liberty and justice for all. It also means short-nosed, which means I do not tell lies. I'm just cunt. It's not part of who I am. My brain cannot, like, stop and try to, like, make up a story. It just says, like, yeah, I did it, or no, I didn't. Yes, no, yes, no. That's all. And so, if other people in the world could just do that shit, yes or no, just say what they fucking did. You're a fucking human being. There's all kind of shit going on in the world. Like, you're not going to shock us with something that we already fucking know happens, right? Seriously. I mean, you can't kill a person. I mean, you can, but, like, you know, if you don't like their answer, that doesn't mean you're allowed to, like, just shoot them in the head, or, you know, unfortunately, that fucking happens, but, you know what I'm saying? When you're just, like, explaining to somebody, like, stuff that you've done in your life, like, what are you so ashamed of? Like, come the fuck on. Like, you're just boring, and, like, nobody fucking cares if, like, you don't have a good story to tell, really. I mean, so anyway, yeah, that part. What else are we gonna talk about? I don't know. Oh, yeah, my middle name, Elizabeth, is from, my, like, 5th generation grandmother, who, lived in Alabama, and her real name was, Elizabeth Green, when she was born, and, the Quakers came through, Alabama, when the, what the hell were, I'm not good with history at all. What the Civil War? I don't fucking know. Sorry. Sorry. I'm not, like, stupid. I just, like, that was not my interest. But I was more concerned with what's happening right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Okay. But anyways, yeah. So the Quakers came through, and they take her, and they bring her to Indiana. And she married Frederick Bartell Jones. And they had children and all that. And so that's where the Elizabeth comes from, okay? And, yeah. So one of the things that was in my house that I know for sure, this fuck-ass Calman, most definitely, if he didn't come and rob me himself, then he sent somebody else in to do it, right? Yeah, there's a little cross that had black, like onyx and stuff, and it had a little teeny tiny gold thing to hold it together. And inside that same box was this voodoo bracelet, okay? And so I don't know who took it. I know Calman, you're definitely the one who, like, sent him that direction if you didn't do yourself. Well, I could tell because, like, the way my room was set up, you were used to it because you were my boyfriend at the time. So, and I know how you are. So, like, the box was, like, we're taking it, like, this way, and you took stuff out and put stuff back. That's why I didn't know it had been robbed, instantly. Because everything was still in its place. And you are the only person that knows how to do that type shit. And would do that type shit, okay? So, okay.